Well, here we are. It's show 1. It's crankygamersuk.net. Episode 1. It's Wednesday, March 25th. It's 2009. I have arrived. It is here. Contrary to the Twitter this week, a few people were saying that hell might have frozen over last week with a few things. And guess what? I think it's fully frozen over because my first guest had to be for show 1. You guessed it. Who is it?
For those of you who don't know, and those of you who can't remember, my name is Kid Dog, and yes, I am here. And there seems to be a bloke with horns and who's kind of red driving a snowplow outside.
How are you, mate? Are you alright?
I am good. Thank you for letting me appear on your first show.
Mate, after last week's very unplanned appearance on Married Gamers, I think it, and the amount of messages I got, I don't know about you, I got absolutely loads.
My Twitter exploded.
Yeah, mine did. I think it was the only way forward, mate. I think it's a really good catch for the first show. So
definitely. By the way, we still haven't worked out who's George Michael and who's the other bloke that no one can remember.
That was a funny one as well. I enjoyed that. But thanks to the Married Gamers, because I actually don't think we'd appeared on this show would not have been like this. So no. Thanks to them, and it was enjoyable. And let's hope this one is. As I said, it's episode 1, so we can crack on. I mean, for some people might not know Kid, as he's just mentioned, he was the original. We were an original couple way back. Couple sounds bad, but yeah, we was. We can't remember the date. We've given up on the date, but it was the original Cranky Gamers UK way back, and we are back together for this show. And I think we've been chatting privately. It could happen more than one occasion, so look out for that. It's just a great way to start. So how have you been, Kid? We'll start with you and what you've been doing this week, and probably for a few months, really. Tell the people what you've been doing.
Oof. Well, I've now developed an addiction to this PC game called World of Warcraft. A game that I have said on countless shows I would never play. I caved, I played, I like.
Can't work it out, can you, why it does what it does?
I don't know. Yeah, it's got an indefinable quality about it, which is a good thing.
I think where I thought the reason World of Warcraft works for everybody is because everybody can play it. And I think that's the bottom line. You don't need your mad geeks on it. It can be beginners. It can be anything. I think that is the perfect essence to it working.
It's very simple to play. It's very addictive. And on the hardware side of things, you do not need some obelisk to play. It's like you would say Crysis. It will play on just about almost any machine.
And if anybody out there who yet hasn't tried it, which I'm guessing there can't be very many left, but there is always free trials going, and I know I slag it off a time or two, and I slag it off because you can get so sucked in, it's unbelievable, but it's free trial for 10 days, so go and try it, but you will be sucked in.
It is well worth a try. It's definitely worth giving some time to, because the other strange thing I've noticed about myself is I used to be very big into JRPGs, loved them, the Final Fantasies and all them lot. And now I seem to have lost interest in them. I've tried playing Infinite Undiscovery, Lost Odyssey, and I can't do it. I cannot sit there and spend the time that I used to on them. But you put me in front of something like Mass Effect, Fallout 3, and I'm there.
Just obviously, I don't know what you've been playing and how you've been going for the past year or so, but you bring a good subject up there, because I too, RPG nut, as most people do know, I've got Infinite Discovery, and I've got the other one, and I must admit, Infinite Discovery grabbed me, and I thought, this could be it. Finally, I've got one on the Xbox that I want, but I don't think I've been back to it after the first, 3 hours gameplay, which is a shame, because they do look the part, but there's just something lacking, and can't put your finger on it.
Yeah, there just seems to be something missing to them. I mean, our big hopes will become when that lovely 13 hits.
I'm worried about that, I really am. I don't know. I've just got funny feelings it might not work.
I mean, it will be strange to, not be playing it on a Sony machine. Unless, of course, you go with the Sony machine, obviously, because you have that option.
I can, but it's the achievements that grab me every time.
Oh, yeah. And I noticed you're not mentioning the fact about achievement scores.
I actually did look at your scores the other day for the first time since we spoke, and I was going to bring it up in this show if we got round to it, but I'm amazed how you've got that high in that short a space of time.
40,000.
Yes, it's a cracking mark. I thought I was doing well on about 32, so done well.
Although everyone's now happy to hear I'm on World of Warcraft because I see my achievement scores going down.
That's it. I should catch up a bit. What do you think of the new kind of RPG then, the Fallout 3 that's happened in the past few months? Do you like that?
Now, Fallout 3 was an interesting one with me, because to begin with, I didn't get on with it. I didn't like it. I mean, I loved Oblivion. I absolutely adored Oblivion. But when it came to Fallout 3, I was like, oh god, you have to walk everywhere, you can't get a horse, everything looks the same. And after about 2 or 3 hours, all of a sudden I was spending days on it and not noticing it. It was like, oh, I've just spent 4 hours playing it and I didn't notice, and I started really loving it. I've loved it to the point I actually bought DLC for it.
Have you finished it though? Because I've got a bit. I mean, what happened to me? Funny enough, I've got one of my main news stories coming up very shortly. Is pretty important for this. I've never finished it, which is a shame, and I really do want to finish it because I have put a lot of hours and game time into that, and I just wondered if you had.
I have finished it, and I've had to drop back to an old save to carry on. Now, for those of you, if you've played Oblivion, you know that you can finish the main quest and carry on playing, which I loved. I thought that was fantastic. Fallout 3, you get to the end, and it is the end. You cannot carry on playing.
Strange that, isn't it? That obviously, and I'm glad it came out pretty soon. It broke on the internet very, very quickly that happened, and I'm glad it did, because I think it's a funny way of finishing a game like that.
It is, but I can see depending on how you end the game, it makes sense that you can't carry on playing it in essence.
Ah, right. Well,
so I don't give away the end.
No, I don't, because I will finish it, and in fact, when I've got through Resident Evil, which I'm getting close to now, I think I may go back to that. I might do, but it was a good game. It was. Me actually didn't like Oblivion. I just couldn't get on with that. But since I've played Fallout and really got in deep, and it's Bethesda, I thought, well, I might give Oblivion yet another try. About the fourth one, I think. So we'll have to see.
The funny thing with me is, when it came to Fallout, did you find yourself struggling to get the mind out of the mindset of playing the FPSs? Because
I went the opposite way. I was doing the stand back a lot. Then I went into FPS mode later on, when I thought I couldn't get on with some battles. I was dying a lot early on, and I think I created a post on the old CG UK forums where I think it got to about 9 pages, and the title read, "What am I doing wrong in this game?" Because everybody at the time was going back mental over it, and I just literally was dying every 5 minutes, and I thought, I don't get this. And this post started, and it got me into it. I realised what I was doing wrong, but later on, when it got difficult, I was FPSing all the time.
I mean, the VAT system's great, but there's 2 important weapons I think you get. One of them's like, I don't want to say it's a rare item, but if you pick it up, it's very handy. It's called the Lincoln Rifle, and it uses Magnum bullets, but it's a rifle. And if you've got your weapons high enough, use your VAT system, aim at the head, and it's pretty much almost a one-shot kill every time. Bloke heads off.
That's good. I think what got me early on in that game, I didn't like when you first set out and got into the small town Megatron at the beginning. I thought that was very poorly designed. I couldn't find my way around there, and
I missed it first off.
Really? Oh, God.
I missed it. I came out there and missed it.
I don't know how you can miss that, but it was a pain in the ass for me. It really was. I made the fatal error. I don't know if you've done this. I mean, this is a slight spoiler, but I'm guessing people are way past this. Did you ever make this error of going into the armory building?
No, I heard about the fact the robot kicks your ass.
Oh, not only the robot, he started panning me. I ran straight out, and every single person in town then wants a piece of your ass. Like nothing. And I literally kept dying, and I managed to run into the waterworks and hide, and then it just dies down. But I did go back later and blow that up just out of sheer wanting to kick its ass back, I suppose. But anyway, let's get this show going. It's going to be, as we say, guys, everybody knows what's gone off regarding me in the past. I'm not going to go back on old ground. Anybody who does want to go and read my blog, I've got a temporary blog at the minute until I get back established. It's at crankytoz.blogspot.com. Go check it out. There is a statement on there. It's quite old now, but it's somewhere near the bottom. If anybody does want to know what's happened, and believe you me, I am still getting emails every day of shocked and surprised people. But like I say, this show's moving on. It's number 1, crankygamersuk.net, and that's it. So I think without further ado, we'll go straight into a kind of a show format, and we'll do this week's charts. So then, this week's charts, we're going to kick off, as we always used to do, at the Wii. And the Wii is a funny joke because it never changes. I don't know if you know, kid, I've actually got a Wii now. I bought the little one at Christmas. I'm sad to say, I was thinking this last night, actually, when I was writing the notes, that it's not been on for, I think, at least 2-3 weeks now. So everybody.
Well, the important question is: you have a Wii. Have you got the most important game for the Wii? Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Funnily enough, as you know, that was one of the biggest things that we had a big piece on when we first started. I went to an event, everything, and it's just been hanging around like a bad penny. And straight off the bat, it is number 5, Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. 70 weeks that's been in there.
Whoa.
So it's crazy. I haven't actually got it, but I actually passed it on to my brother when I had the game and had no Wii. But you can keep it because I'm actually looking to the new one very shortly. Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics. I think that could be fun. That's due out very soon. But anyway, yeah, number 5 is Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Number 4, Mario Kart Wii is always there. Number 3, Mario Power Tennis. It's one of these new ones that Nintendo have bought out where it's changed over to the Wii controls. It's not a brand new game. It's one of the old ones, Mario Tennis. They've stuck, I think, did they stick power on it as part of that? Or is that
No, I think
that's
was
the full name?
Because it's a new old one.
That's it, the famous new old one. They've got a new set, the I can never get this name right either. Pipkin, nobody gets it right. That one has got the controls, but Mario Power Tennis is one of these. I have got it, and I have to say and warn you, if you haven't, I would stay clear. It's not the tennis that I wanted it to be. It's just too itchy on the controls. You're basically too fast. It just doesn't work right, in my opinion. But anyway, number 2, right up from number 5, is Sonic and the Black Knight. Are you still a Sonic fan? No?
Sonic continued to whore himself out, in the words of Yahtzee. I'm sorry. I tried the last one. What was it? Sonic Unleashed?
Yeah, I've got that on PS3 and on PS2, and I never tried them. I just couldn't get on with
It's just Sonic in 3D just doesn't work. I'm sorry.
The old-fashioned, very first Sonic. I think first 2 was about the best.
3
of
is
the
king.
lot.
3 is king.
Do you think so? I never got that far.
Sonic 3 is king.
Right, and anyway, we all know what's number 1. It'll be there till the end of time, I think. That's Wii Fit for its 48th week at number 1. So there you have the Wii charts. We'll move straight on to Xbox 360 charts, and that's number 5 is Street Fighter 4. Now, are you a Street Fighter 4 fan?
No, I am the other guy. I am not a Street Fighter fan. I understand why people like it. We won't talk about the terrible movies, both of them.
Yeah.
I am a Mortal Kombat guy through and through.
Really? Did you get the latest Mortal Kombat one then?
No, I haven't tried that yet, unfortunately. I'm dying to try that. I really am. But Street Fighter, I've never been a Street Fighter fan. I was always the other way. I was always Mortal Kombat, but I played Mortal Kombat first on an arcade cabinet, so that could be why.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I have got it. I got it sent me, and I must admit it wasn't what I was looking for. I just can't get on with fighting games. I think mine one stems back like you, way back. I just don't like it. I think I played it for 40 minutes and that was it.
I mean, are you playing it on the... I take it you're playing it on the pad?
Do you know, I tried both. I mean, I don't know how you... When I get these kind of games, I actually... The very first thing I do is go straight into training mode and literally have a play with the buttons, see what feels right, whether it's the pad, whether it's the stick or whatever. To be honest, I knew I was in trouble because even in the training mode, I just didn't get to grips with any moves, and I don't know. It's just, and like you, I fully understand why people are into it, and it is. And this new one, there must be people that are literally wetting themselves over it because it did look nice. But I think I use the stick though to answer your question.
You see, the funny thing with me is that if you're I played Street Fighter 4 last year, and I played it on the joystick setup, the actual arcade stick setup, and it was fantastic. And I think that's how you need to play these games. I don't think they work with pads.
Didn't they? I think there was a story about the stick selling out unbelievably, wasn't it? That they've had to make
the stick. They did sell out crazily, and then you go and look at the prices, and your jaw hits the floor.
No, and is it Mad Catz that have got one?
Yeah, it's the Mad Catz did the collector's edition and the other edition. And the other edition is like £100 odd.
I can remember
for a controller.
I know. I can remember reading the press release soon after, and they literally put a press release out saying, "Please stick with us." No pun intended. Stick with us. That we know that people want this. We didn't realise it would be so, and they're literally having to churn them out by the boatload up. They are at that price anyway, but it's crazy. Anyway, number 4. Another game I've not been back to that I've got, Halo Wars. I absolutely thought that was great. I like it. RTS. Have you got that?
No, because I like my Halo, because I have actually become quite a Halo 3 fanboy. Well, not a fanboy, I enjoy Halo 3 now. But when it comes to my RTS, there's only one game that I care about, and it's Sid Meier, Civ Revolution.
I've got that. I enjoyed that, played it, enjoyed it, and did quite a lot in that, a lot of hours into that game. I enjoyed it a lot, that one.
I have to give Halo Wars a lot of respect because it's done really well. It's captured the feel of Halo, which must be quite hard when you're taking it from a first-person genre to the RTS God Sim. So I've got to give them credit for that. I know it's done really well for them as well. It's done better than they expected.
It's, I mean, RTSs, I've played all the Command and Conquers, and I've played the Civ, like you've just said. I fall into a category, and I think actually, thinking back, Civ was about the only one that didn't do this for me. That when you play the Command and Conquers, and this Halo Wars is the same, 3 or 4 levels in, playing the single player, it just hits a wall. I just literally hit a wall where there are just too many things going off, too many things to do, and I literally cannot get through that level. And that's happened in so many RTSs for me. But it did happen in Halo Wars, very early I might add. But I do plan going back to that. It is a cracking game, I agree. Well done.
I may look at that when it's a bit cheaper.
Yeah, I think you'll find in a few weeks when people have got bored that there'll be a lot about, because like you say, it's sold brilliantly. So, anyway, number 3, I am really liking this game a lot. Hawks. I think it's received not as good a feedback as it should have done, but I can tell you I got it, I think 2 weeks ago. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's really well done. It's fun. I've heard the multiplayer is one of the best multiplayers, drop in, drop out, that you've ever seen, and I've not played it yet, and I've been meaning to try it, but highly recommend it, people. I know that a lot of people slagged it off and didn't like the demo and stuff. Try it. Well worth it. Have you tried it at all?
I have played it, and I'm not fond of it, but I'm not fond of flying games. I did try the other one, Ace Combat.
Ace Combat. I was going to ask you, what do you think? Thought on both of them together? I think they're about the same, really.
They are pretty similar, but obviously with it being a Tom Clancy game, Hawks goes for that more real-worldy feel. But I don't get on with them. I really struggle with flight games. I'm not very good at them. I tend to be like, oh, okay, which way am I going? Oh, that's the ground, pull up. Oh, splat.
It's good, and it's a nice learning curve as well. It's well done. I will actually play a lot more of that, and especially the multiplayer. But not bad. Number 2 is actually missing off my notes, but I know what it is because I've looked, and I'm sure this is fate, because this is going to cause some more debate. This is a famous one that happened way back. There's a new entry in the 360 charts, number 2, and I chuckled when I typed it in. It's WWE Legends of WrestleMania.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. The Hogan is here!
Can you remember way back when we had an argument discussion about the wrestling? I just cannot grasp anywhere why people buy these games, and I know that you're a massive fan, aren't you?
I am a WWE fan, but lately the games I have not loved because the games have got really bad. Legend of WrestleMania is interesting. They've changed the control system. They've tried to appeal to a slightly different market. It's kind of a strange one because with it being the Legend series, so you've got guys in like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. People, these wrestlers, some people may not know of today, which I find very strange. Obviously, you've got ones that people will know of. You've got The Rock in there. You've got Austin in there.
So, I am a complete ignorant person when it comes to wrestling. I don't think I have ever even seen one running. What kind of game is it actually based on? Is it a fighting game?
It is a fighting game. It's not quite your Street Fighter style of fighting. It really is a wrestling game because you're fighting in a ring. You have your grapple moves and stuff like that. You'll have moves for top rope and stuff. So in essence, it's a variation on the fighting genre, but instead of it being like something that you'd be familiar with within Street Fighter, it's a variation on that. Is perhaps the easiest way of putting it.
And well done then. It's well made.
There's a bit of controversy about Legends of WrestleMania because one of the strange things they did, they've slightly enhanced Hulk Hogan to make him appear bigger and better than what he actually was. But it's minor things. I think it will stay there for a little while. I don't see it hanging around long. One, It's more to appeal to guys like myself and our news guy over on Total Gamer, Rostopher, who are we're both wrestling fans, because we know these guys, we grew up with seeing them and that, but I can't see it hanging around long.
It still amazes me. They do sell, obviously, straight in at number 2. I mean, I know there's not much around at the minute, but it still amazes me there. But obviously, there's a good fan base, and I know that wrestling on the TV, people lose their mind over still, and that baffles me more.
I'd rather watch wrestling than watch EastEnders.
Well, I don't. You know what? That's a hard one for me. It really is. But anyway.
And my final impression before Toz moves on to number 1, I just got to do this. Ooh, yeah! Okay, carry on now.
Oh, dear. Right, anyway, number 1, guys, is the big one that's been out for the past few weeks, and it's certainly top of my list at the minute. So that's Resident Evil 5. I will talk about more of this in my What's Been Played, but have you got this one, kid? I'd be interested.
It's not out. It's not out because I can't afford it.
Oh, mate. I wish you'd got it, actually, because I would actually enjoy some co-op with you, so you'll have to let me know as soon as you get it.
I will. I'm dying to get my hands on this. This looks fantastic. I was never one of these people who went, oh, the controls, da, da, da. It's like, no, this controls like Resident Evil.
It does. And I was going to say in my later on in my What's Been Playing, the controls actually, the demo, there is a demo on Xbox Live, as everybody must know by now. I hated the demo so much, I absolutely cancelled the pre-order. I didn't want it. And funny enough, I had a lot more people besides some real top gamers writing on their blogs saying the controls in this demo was terrible. They was dying. I think what it was. Did you play the demo? I'm guessing you have.
I did play the demo, yes.
I think what they did, a mistake in that demo, was put the big axe guy in pretty early and pretty quick, because he is a mean character to get past.
I hate bagheads.
And I'll tell you now, unless people know, and I didn't find this out until at least 5-6 goes of constantly dying. The trick is you need to get out that building extremely quickly. I didn't realise this. I was wandering about in that little space, just dying, and then when you get out, obviously, and it's in the game early as well, but we'll talk about it a bit more later on. But anyway, it's number 1, guys, in the 360 charts, and we'll move swiftly on to the PS3 charts. These always similar to the 360. At number 5 this week, it's Hawks, down from 3. Number 4, Street Fighter 4. Number 3, the wrestling again, WWE. Number 2, Killzone 2. We'll talk a little bit about this. This was a game, again, the demo killed it for me. I think I've talked about this before, whether it's had a bit of a discussion where is it the PS3 controller to the point of where I am so now zoned into the 360 controller that if you'd have watched me play this demo on Killzone, you would have honestly thought it was a 5-year-old child controlling the game. I literally could not aim at a single person. At one point in the demo, you get rushed in a room. There's multiple targets. You're hiding behind a box, and I literally just couldn't hit anything. As my dad used to say, you couldn't hit a barn door with a frying pan. And I thought it was terrible. So, what are your thoughts? I know it's a massive game, and I know you're not into the PS3 there, but what do you think?
I got a chance to vaguely play this last year, and first off, look-wise, it is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot argue with the looks. It looks gorgeous. But I think the best way I've heard this game summed up is the fact that if this was on the 360, it would be an average shooter. But because it's on the PS3, it is a great shooter because it's what they've got. I don't think that the PS3 controls lend themselves to first-person shooter, but then again, like you, I could be zoned in onto the 360. The slightly offset analog sticks to me just feel right.
Do you know what I find playing the few shooters I've played on the PS3 since I've had it, and I've had this discussion before, and we've laughed and everything. I can't understand why they've got this set way in shooters on the PS3 to set the trigger mode to the top right shoulder button. It just... I mean, people have said to me, well, it's the design. They made a mess of the design of the controller. The bottom triggers a shape downwards, and your fingers slip off. I would actually back that up, but I've actually bought a little gadget off the net that is readily available, and they actually click on to the bottom of them triggers, and it makes them slope outwards. So your fingers don't now slip off. And I know some people say, well, you've got mapping and all things like that, but every shooter that comes on the PS3 so far for me has got right top shoulder button as the trigger, and I just find that so crazy, stupid. But it is a nice looking game, very nice, and I might get to play it, I don't know. I'll wait and see. I know it's the big one, but good point there, kid, about if it was on the 360, would be average, which you're about right, I think. Anyway, number 1, as I say, pretty similar to the 360 charts. It's Resident Evil 5. And I have actually thought that somewhere down the line, if I can get a really cheap copy of this way down the line, Resident Evil 5, I might like to get this on the PS3.
Just to see the difference.
Well, definitely, because as we know, the Resident Evil series began and belonged on the Sony PlayStation. So I've heard from people that it's not any different, but I'd like to see it. And I think I've actually got the demo loaded up on the PS3 that I've not even started. So anyway, guys, there's the PS3 charts. As I say, pretty similar to the 360. A change for my show, and I know that this might surprise a few people, but I thought I'd stick it in because it was something I used to get asked for a lot. We're going to do the top 5 PC charts. Never used to do them. I'm going to do them this time, and I think we'll crack straight off with number 5. And Kid will know more about this, and I'll ask him if he's getting this as well, which I think he will be in the long run. Number 5 is World of Warcraft: The Wrath of the Lich King. I gather you will be getting it.
Well, I've just ordered myself the first expansion pack, so I think it's probably a safe bet at the minute that at some point in my future, Wrath of the Lich King will be heading my way.
Do they do this long since I've even been on the website? Do they do any kind of like a DLC format where you can download the game?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty new to it myself, so I can't say with certainty.
It'd be interesting. I'd be surprised if they don't, because it'd be a trick missed there. But certainly, anyway, World of Warcraft, I knew that to be in the top 5. I was actually surprised it's not higher. But number 4, anyway, is Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 2. Are you into this? I know that millions
I have played the first Dawn of War series, which was RTS, and it's fantastic.
I think I played that a long time ago on my nephew's PC, and I think it did look fantastic, if I remember rightly.
And in fact, now, I know it's more the first Dawn of War, you can pick up a pack that is the game and all the expansion packs for about 20 quid.
Really? Wow.
And Dawn of War 2, if you see the screenshots of this game, and if you've got the system to run it, it's wow.
Nice.
You
know
nice.
What? We can discuss this, I suppose. The PC market is such a tricky market, isn't it? Where the bottom line of any game, and I think that's what holds them back, is do you have the right system for the game?
This is the long-standing problem with PC gaming. You have to have, it's no good having the minimum system requirements for most games these days. You have got to have pretty close to what it needs max. Which is a definite problem because it's lowest common denominator. You have to appeal to the lowest common.
It was my main reason for going console. I mean, a lot of people may not know this. I didn't have, I used to have PS2s way back when I was younger, but I didn't hit the next-gen console until very late, and I was a massive PC player, and it just got to the point where I actually one day sat and said to myself, I am sick to death of buying this graphics card and needing this graphics card 3 months later and then needing this monitor RAM. And it wasn't cheap then. I know it's cheap, getting a lot cheaper now.
It's still not cheap though.
The only thing cheap now is RAM is about that, but the graphics cards that you have to throw at it. I mean, it's a shame because I can tell you now, I used to enjoy my PC gaming. It used to be brilliant and you used to get some classic titles and quality titles, but you've got to have some money. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Even to this day, for a graphics card, you've got to still spend fairly decent so you're not obsolete in like 6 months' time. And the trouble is, you say RAM's cheap, it is, but you've got to know which RAM you need. Do you need DDR1, DDR2, DDR3?
I was going to bring that subject up as well. I mean, you've obviously probably played a lot more PC than me lately. Well, I've played none.
It's debatable, seeing as I run Windows Vista, so...
Well, that's true. I mean, the only last game I played on is World of Goo, and I only played that for probably half an hour. But I was going to ask you then, do you still have the problems as well? You've got terrible crashing problems, install problems. It's just, you hit a lot of walls when it comes to PC gaming.
Obviously, because I'm on Vista, I have the unfortunate problem with Vista doesn't like this game. The funniest thing I have Age of Empires 3 by Microsoft. I tried to run it on Vista, and guess what?
Won't run.
It pops up a little box. There are known issues with this game on Windows Vista. We will let you know when they are fixed.
I think, to be honest, mate, I think me and you had a discussion pre-show that the Windows 7, I'm running Windows 7 Beta on one of my laptops, not powerful enough for gaming, but the rumours are that is made a lot better for gaming. So any of you Vista fans out there that are screaming at your PCs, just wait a bit. Or I would actually recommend trying the beta. It's It's timed until I think the end of August, so you've still got a while left. But I do recommend putting that on your system, especially if you've got normal Vista, because that is just drive you mad. Anyway, let's get on with these charts. Number 3, new entry. It's Hawks. This has surprised me. I'd like to see this one on a top range PC because I bet it looks very, very nice.
Not only that, with the fact that PC is, of course, the natural home of all flight sims, this is going to be pretty damn popular, especially considering the controllers that you can get for it. You can have proper flight controls for it, so...
Oh, yeah. I can remember way back when I was looking, I think I was looking at Microsoft Flight Sim when it got pulled for all the controversial 2001 issues, that I managed to get link into some people that have got like whole rooms dedicated to their flight sim, and they literally have, you walk through the door and they've got a cockpit.
It's not just that. I mean, with the flight sim games, probably not so much Hawks, with it being more a combat simulator. There's people that actually are flight control tower operatives for flight sims.
There's some heavy people into that. Crazy. Anyway then, guys, number 2, Football Manager 09 is always there on the PC, and I have actually got this game under my desk that I don't think I've even installed. So it's been there a long time. It is a good game, but you have got to have time to play that as well. And
you have to know your stats.
You do, and it is stat heavy. It's still the best, I think, the best one out there. It's a good one. But anyway, number 1, Empire Total War. I guess this is right down your street as well.
Oh, it is. This is by the guys that brought, Rome Total War, Medieval Total War. This one is, again, this is hampered by the fact you're going to have a pretty decent machine to run it. But again, it's purely fantastic. Naval battles, land battles, it is fantastic. And the gameplay is just addictive as hell. Yeah,
the good type of game. I must admit, I do miss PC gaming, because there are certain genres that, weight themselves better for PC than console. But anyway, there this week, it's PC charts. Let us know if you do like them added to the charts, and I will keep them in. I just put them in this week just to see if you guys do like it. And as I say, I might keep them in. I like talking about it. Bit of a PC old fan. Like to get back into it. Anyway, guys, we're going to move swiftly on this week to some very interesting bits of news. Right then, news this week, and I've got one that certainly surprised me yesterday because I didn't even think it was coming out. The big news, it may have changed because, as I said, this was put in my notes yesterday. It's Bethesda have pulled the latest Fallout 3 DLC on the Xbox. I'll just quote the story that's been doing the rounds, and it's the second instalment of Fallout 3, the DLC, has pulled apparently because the file's corrupted. It did get out there, it has been downloaded by a few, it just didn't work. And I will actually read the official statement from Bethesda, and it goes as follows. We are continuing to look into the issues people are experiencing with the Pit for the Xbox 360. As of now, it looks like the English file version on Xbox Live is somehow corrupted. We are currently working with Microsoft to remove the existing file off Live to prevent any further downloads. Our plan is to replace it with a new file as soon as possible. And I think I've checked this morning, it's still not back up. So, interesting. Will you be getting that, kid?
I was actually kind of lucky, because yesterday I was weighing up the fact that there was 2 pieces of DLC came out that I wanted to get. The first, obviously, being the Pit, because I have the first part, Operation Anchorage, yeah. And that's great.
Is it good?
It's very good. I enjoyed it. A bit short. I will say it's a bit short, but 800 points, not bad. Now, the Pit, if you've seen the trailers for the Pit looks pretty damn good. I was really looking forward to playing that. But also out yesterday, for all you Rock Band players, was Pearl Jam's 10 album. And I was sat there going, Fallout, Rock Band, Fallout, Rock Band, damn it.
I take it the Fallout is 800 points again.
Yeah, it's 800 points, which I think is a really good price for DLC.
I'm actually going to wait for the third.
A lot of people
DLC.
I know, especially my co-host Spy, he's going to wait for the third one to come out because obviously there's a level cap.
I'll tell you what it is. I heard the interview on Major Nelson some weeks back. It was when the game first came out, and the games director on there said that the number 3 is literally big enough to be a standalone game on its own. So I must admit, I'm looking forward to the third one so much. I might not even buy the other 2. I don't know.
Operation Anchorage I enjoyed. It's not fantastic, but it's
Too
good.
short, though, like you say.
I thought it felt a bit short.
Mm.
3, obviously, this new one that's obviously been pulled because of a file corruption issue. Well done.
Yeah.
If you've seen the trailer, it looks like it's got a nice cracking story to it.
Again this week, guys, I've listened this very morning, not an hour before this show, that Major Nelson's got the guy on from Bethesda again to talk about the Pit. Obviously, there prior to it being pulled, but tells you a bit about what it is. I won't give it away because I know that people don't want any spoilers, and I won't give any spoilers. But if you do want to listen, go Major Nelson's podcast this week. Just talk about it. But I'm guessing that the guys at Bethesda and Microsoft will get that sorted pretty quickly. My next story, I got this one right at the last minute because it made me smile, and I really want your thoughts on this because this is a mad, crazy idea. And its story is titled OnLive Game Streaming Service Unveiled. And apparently Web TV founder Steve Pullman and former IDOS CEO Mike McGarvey have unveiled a new gaming system, and it's called OnLive, and it's a streaming video game service. And I'm going to read you the story because this will, well, it blew my mind. The digital distribution technology allows consumers to run high-end AAA games remotely through an Intel-based Mac or PC running XP or Vista, surprise, surprise, regardless of what system specification. In addition, games will run on the home TVs through a small console-like device controller. On both home computers and TVs, video game quality will be scaled between high and standard definition depending on the speed of the user's connection. OnLive will also feature a robust multiplayer service. So then, what are your thoughts about this crazy idea?
It's crazy, but if it works, that's going to be impressive. I think there's a few things that's obviously going to stand in the way of that, which is one, obviously, users' connection speeds.
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, we know that our speeds and our whole internet service is a bit hit and miss, but it is getting better. I know that.
I beg to differ on that one.
Well, my service, and I'll stand up for mine. I mean, I've got Sky, and I won't have a bad word to say about their internet provider. I've got a 16 meg line, and I think in 2 years, it's been down fully probably twice. It had one big major failure once, and I was off for 3 days, which I know is big for people. But that out of nearly 2 years, and I mean full speed service, because I'm actually, I think I've measured it. We measured it with a call once. I'm 500 metres from the exchange, which does help me slightly. But,
yes, it does, you lucky sod.
I have actually hit 1.5 megabits per second download speed, so... And as I say, I'm happy with Sky. But I must admit, back to this story, I think it's mad. And if it works, it could be really, really interesting.
If it does work, yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting. But it's, again, all right. So, okay, just to get my connection speeds in here, I'm now on a 10 megabit connection. And if I'm lucky during the day or peak times, I get the good old about 3 meg.
Yeah.
Middle of the night, I will get the 10 meg.
Who are you with? What provider are you on?
I am with Virgin.
Oh, right.
So that says it all, really.
But not bad.
The other problem I can see here is cost. How much is it going to cost? Because say you
Good
get
question.
the TV option, so you're going to have some sort of controller or whatever, and a little box connected to the net to get your games. How much per month is this going to cost you? Is it going to be just a cost of individual games? Are you going to be able to just to subscribe to, say, Burnout Paradise and just that, or you know?
It's a great story. It's a great idea, and obviously they're going forward, and I wish them every success. But looking at this story from a step back, it's so full of holes that can go disastrously wrong.
Yeah, especially considering when you think about it, this is a tough market to be in at the minute. You take a look at something as impressive hardware-wise as the PS3, but because of its price, has irreparably damaged that system. I still think to this day, you're charging £300 now for it's around about £300, isn't it, for the PS2?
I think, yeah, $299 around. They might even be a little bit cheaper in places.
But you're charging that now, especially in the financial situation the world finds itself in. That's not going to shift very well. Whereas you take a look at something like the Wii, which is not as powerful, but cheaper and easier to play games, look how well that's just shot through.
Yeah. We could go on with about the PS3 forever and ever, and I've got my next final stories got that involved. But this could work. If it does work, it will be very interesting to watch. And so many factors are going to make it work. Cost, like you say, Kid, is definitely the big one for me. And the bottom line, if it doesn't work properly, 100%, you're just not going to get any takers. Simple as that. You know, and like you said, good point. There's too many market to compete with. There's the console market. If they're open to compete with that, they're going to struggle. If it's the PC market, again, could struggle. It'd be interesting.
Now, the PC market may not be as hard for it because if you can play something like Crysis streamed to your PC and not need the Uber PC,
but you know,
that may be good.
But when you think of that exact question, them words in that sentence, if you could play Crysis streamed either on your PC or to your TV, that to me, I just cannot see how they're going to pull this off in any shape or form. But it's interesting, to say the least.
It's one to keep an eye on.
It is, mate. It's a good story, that. Anyway, I'm going to move on to my last story that should lead on to a couple that I think Kids got. And it's this caught my eyes again. We're on about it's all about money in these terrible climate. Sony have slashed the cost of their PS3 development kit. Very interesting story. Ski, as I like to call them, has reduced the cost of PlayStation 3 development kit by more than half. The reference tool can now be licensed by developers and publishers, and this is in US dollars, guys. It's for $2,000, and get this, the previous price was $10,250.
Ouch.
It's interesting. It does prove, I suppose, that it's either a desperation move to try and get more developers to get AAA titles, or it's the start of them at least trying, to sort this mess out as such. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more enticing to get developers on board there with the dev kit's only costing $2,000 instead of the 10. But excuse me, is it a bit too late for this? Is it not?
Big question, isn't it? Big
but
question.
I think this is probably the wrong kind of price cut that people wanted. They don't want the price cut on the dev kit. They want the price cut on the console.
But I suppose in theory, is this an easier solution for Sony? Good point. If they bring this up, they're lowering these dev kits to obviously pull in more developers who maybe didn't want to spend that kind of money or haven't got them resources at the minute. And are we then going to see some really cracking titles? And that is what's letting the PS3 down as well, I feel a little bit.
Or are we going to see more shovelware for it? Some of the slightly crappy games that we get with the Xbox. Exactly.
Good point. It's a very interesting move, and I think it is a move by Sony to try and, at least be seen to be doing something. I'm surprised at the price. I didn't even know the price of a dev kit from the off, so to find out that they were $10,000 was surprising to say the least. But to be $2,000 now, I think some developers will be very excited. So
they will probably take a look where it was a bit slightly more prohibitive before. They're definitely probably going to take a look now.
Without a doubt. It might work, it might not. We'll see, like you say. And I think you've got some stories, Kid, haven't you? One actually relating to this slightly.
Yeah, not to be outdone, Microsoft has announced its own brand new development kit, which is kind of a surprise, because this was actually announced about an hour or two after Sony announced the price cut of their own.
Not like them to do things like that, though, is it?
Oh, no. This new dev kit boasts twice the memory of the original, according to Microsoft. The additional memory basically is going to allow debug mode to run more smoother alongside other optimization tools, because they're very important. That's how you get a very nice, shiny and polished game. The new development kit also boasts a redesigned launcher interface that will provide developers with more key data and information. At the same time, Microsoft has updated its XNA development tool, along with improving the standard of video playback and providing new audio APIs. XNA version 3.1 will allow community games developers to infuse their work with customized NXE avatars, while the professional community can also provide more online features such as game add-ons, downloads, as well as live party functionality. So basically what they're trying to do with this new dev kit is allow them to bring in more of the NXE, which we are all now used to and no longer care about.
No, I must admit, it's died a bit for me, that excitement has. Do you, I know it's an interesting story. I actually jumped on board this story myself this morning thinking I saw the double memory and I thought, is that, a little snippet of what the new machine's going to be? And obviously I was very wrong. It was just to do with this dev kit to make, I think I read where just to make it easier for the developers, basically.
if people don't know, is when you're using a dev kit, there's a lot of memory is used up by a debug code, which is going through the code as you're playing, making sure everything's working the way it should be. There's the optimization tools to improve performance. So again, you're getting the best from your game. So just that bit more memory.
It makes it easier for them.
It does make it easier. Actually, the funniest thing is, if you've ever seen, I think it's the dev kit for the PS2 will make you roll with laughter, because imagine your old school PS2.
The big one. I've got one of them, yeah, the giant ones.
That's not giant. The dev kit is at least twice the size of it.
Like a wheelie bin.
It's huge.
Crazy. So that's a good story then, that is. But I want to ask you about Microsoft. You've made me think of a story I want to ask you about. Are you liking these community games?
I haven't even tried them.
It's a big thing, this is. I've talked about it before, that when it came out, it literally dropped on everybody's doorstep with hardly anybody knowing what it was when the new NXE came. I just literally now, like you, I would actually like to be able to just remove the whole section and just not have it appear. I think they're just trying to cram too many out too quickly. I think it's been poorly handled, is my personal views. I don't know what you think.
It's just, it's there now, whatever. Where's my game?
It doesn't help that there are some absolute appalling games on there either.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's bad. I think it's been very poorly messed up.
It's a good idea in theory, but like all things, in theory is not in practice.
Yeah. Have you got any more stories, or have you done?
I have two for you. Now, the first one might get you interested. Are you interested in a new console?
Oh, yeah, definitely. What, a brand new, total, not seen console?
Oh, yes. It's not a remake of the Mega Drive or anything like that. It has backing. It's backed by publishers such as EA, THQ, and Activision.
Go on, then. What is it?
It has the worst name in the world ever. Possibly the Gizmondo. The Zeebo.
Oh, my God.
The
really?
Zeebo? Now, this actually makes more sense, because this is actually not aimed at guys like us or countries like ours. This is aimed for countries like Brazil.
Oh, right.
Now, basically what it is, the Zeebo game console could be considered the Robin Hood of video game platforms. So basically the idea is, I'm trying to find the bit now. The Zeebo company is based in California is aiming the console at the kind of emerging markets that Sony is looking for with the PS2. Brazil, China, India. In short, the billions of potential gamers, but where, I don't want to sound nasty with this, but where finance is a hell of a lot tighter than it is here. You ain't going to be picking up a 360 kind of deal.
No.
Now, the Zeebo launches in Brazil for $199.
Oh, so it's coming out very soon. I'm thinking like you're talking it's in development and 5 years down the line.
No, it launches next week.
Really? Wow.
The price in actual Brazilian, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but it's 445 Brazilian reais.
Yeah, I think that's right. You're about right.
Now, this is the bit that struck me dumb. Aside from being relatively low cost, it's competing with the Sega Mega Drive.
Oh, no. Really? Is that what they're on?
Literally, yeah. Well, again, it's an emerging market. The system also negates disc-based games. This is due to the fact that the development was based on, oh good grief, Qualcomm's mobile phone technology. In fact, according to Forbes, the Zeebo will use digital downloaded games distributed through cell phone networks that players don't even have to subscribe to. So it's like, basically, you'll be buying, I don't want to say you're buying mobile phone games, but that's the principle of how you'll be getting games.
I mean, like you say, a lot of people probably sit back and say, oh, God, that sounds terrible and dire. But like you say, it's for the countries that are up and coming. And if it gets them into it and it works, I will have to check this out, because I had never heard this story before, and I think it's really good. Yeah.
I just the name's the one that gets me. The Zeebo.
I thought I was expecting you to say that's like an interim name, and 5 years they'll change it. So that's really good.
Next week.
Really good.
And now my final one. Now this is a bit of this is slightly. I think you could cast this under the propaganda story.
Okay.
PC rules supreme in the gaming world. Now this is from the BBC, so that bastion of goodness.
Oh, that's it then. It's bound to be true if it's the BBC.
Personal computer is king in the world of games, according to a new report by, now this is where the propaganda comes in, the PC Gaming Alliance.
Ah, right. Go on.
On the opening day of the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, or GDC, the Alliance said that the industry made about $11 billion worldwide last year. The PCGA president, Randy Soot, said that the figures underlined the PC as the number one platform for gaming worldwide. Despite Xbox Live and PlayStation, the online platform that remains the most accessible and robust is the PC. Now, you obviously got to take this kind of report with a pinch of salt when it's by someone like the PC Gaming Alliance.
Yeah.
Now, I can understand it being easier or more accessible to do the live stuff on a PC.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that in theory the numbers are, probably accurate and good, and PC gaming is big. We're not saying it's small, but like you say, I don't know, a bit tongue-in-cheek to say it's the biggest.
Well, the report also revealed that 3 of the biggest trends last year were the growth of digital distribution, so Steam. Yeah,
they're doing really well.
The rise of free games with microtransaction models, so I'm not quite sure what that would be.
That is the kind of game that are the new MMORs that are coming, like I say, that they're basically free to join, and what they do, if you want the top-notch stuff, you can pay, just like a DLC really, like Microsoft Points. That's how they run it.
And the increased percentage of game cards at major retailers, obviously this being an American report such as 7-Eleven. Now, what I'm assuming that means is like the prepaid day cards that we get over here for stuff like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it means them.
Yeah, it will be. So, I think really, I think the PC market as well as, I think things like Warcraft are going to be a massive part of that number though, don't you?
I mean, obviously, you can't talk PC gaming without talking about World of Warcraft, can you? Because it is king.
I would really be very interested if you literally took the whole of the Warcraft animal and removed it from that figure. What would be the real figure? And I think a lot of people would be very shocked.
It's hard to say because some of the other MMOs are doing quite well for themselves. Obviously, we've got Warhammer Online.
I was very interested in that. Very interested. I meant to try that trial as well and never got round to it because that did look brilliant.
But obviously, they do well. You got the Conan one, you've got EverQuest is still going, you still have Star Wars Galaxies, Eve as well, and coming up you've got Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, DC as well, the DC Universe MMO, so...
Still big business without a shadow
it's huge
of
business.
a doubt. Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
But can then even, unseat the king?
Very true. Very, very true. So then, that's some good news stories there for you guys. But I enjoyed the Sony Dev Kit one. Saving money for them. Interesting where that leads us. So there we are. We are now going to move on to what we have been playing. Right then, what we've been playing. I will kick off because I've actually got not that much to talk about with my all that's been happening with my new stuff. I've had very little time to play games. So much so I've not got anything for the PS3 this week because it's not been switched on, sadly. Likewise for the Wii. What I am going to talk about first though is 360 in the movies. This was actually penciled in for the show that never happened. So I will talk about this because I got quite a few mails when people saw me playing it. I mean, everybody knows what it was. Honestly, I'll tell you, I got it in a trade, basically. Got it in a trade, a good swap for an old game I wasn't using. It didn't come with the camera, I'd already got one. I put it in, and where do I start? What I will say, the bottom line of it all, there are really a lot of plus points for it, but then there are really some bad points for it as well that probably end up literally killing it for me. Starts off great, it integrates your camera, it leads you in, it literally takes you by the hand as such to take you through the game. In the movies, if people don't know, it's basically a game where you need your Xbox camera. It lines you up in front of the camera, it sets it for yourself, but it's all linear. You don't have very much control right from the off, which was strange. So where can I start? It starts off, there are film sets. You're literally going to aim to record a 5-minute movie with you as the star. You can have 1 to 4 players. Where it falls down, and this is the real big problem I had, it starts off with telling you to stand in front of the camera in the room that you're going to use. You stand still, it takes a picture. You appear on the screen. It then tells you to move out of shot and it takes a picture of the room where you've been standing. Then what it attempts to do is the very next shot it comes up, it puts you back on the screen as you are now, but it's tried its best to literally green screen the rest of your room out. This is where it fails, because what then happens, the game starts where you're literally taken through a pre-5-minute script of mini-games kind of thing, where, what can I say, the first one started and said, I want you to run away from this ball. And on the screen appears this giant ball, and you line yourself up with your camera, and you've got to literally look like you're running away from this ball on the screen. So then that finishes, and then you press your button and it takes you to your next step. And then the next step will be punch these rocks as they appear. It's cleverly done. I mean, then a rock will appear to your top right, so you punch top right, then down to the floor, you'll punch and you'll kick, and you've done that section. When you get to the end of the movie, what it's done cleverly is, although you've played mini-games to do the actions, then pieces together like a 5-minute clip on a subject like a ghost haunted castle, but your actions have been cleverly introduced into the pre-made clip, as where, like you was kicking the rocks in the mini-game, on the film you would have been kicking flying bats. Really cleverly done in that kind of way, but it doesn't work because of the way the camera fails with the glitching. You can be recording your mini-games and you can see the glitches of your room that they've tried to blank out. So much so my second attempt was at a whole corner to the bottom left of me that literally you could see the room behind me. And obviously that not only is a problem there, but it records it and it was part of your film. It was fun. No doubt about it. There was me, my whole family, my daughter, my wife. We all had a real good fun time with it. And for that, you can't fault it. One brilliant thing I like, which I was quite surprised to see that they'd not only pulled off, but it worked flawlessly. You saved your game, you saved your movie at the end. It then literally let you upload it to their servers. Now, what surprised me, the server load for this game must be unbelievable, because my movie was 18.5 meg in size. It lets you upload to their servers, and within a few minutes it takes your email address that you've got registered to your Xbox account and literally sends you a message to your email account to tell you with a link to download the movie that you've made and do with it what you want, which I thought was a really great touch. Something I'd like to see in some other games. But all in all, guys, in the movies, I know I've been asked a few questions about it. It's fun for family, parties, a laugh, but the camera's let down on quite a number of occasions, which is sad really. But we even tried putting a blue blanket up for the old blue screen, green screen thing. Didn't work either, so it's a shame, but I'm guessing the room does matter where you are, so it'd be good to rent if you've got a camera, if you can find any rental sites that are doing it. It's a good game.
Maybe go better with alcohol.
Well, I enjoyed it. We laughed, and I can imagine a party with some college people and some mates round with alcohol. You probably have a really good laugh. I think it's up to 4 players at a time. So yeah, sad that the camera's let down because I could see it working, and it does work. It's some very clever little ideas they've tried. It's just, I don't know, worth a rent, I would say. The only other game I've got to talk about this week, guys, and it has been kindly donated as usual, my games from Ninja Games, which I will be. I've said it before in the previous shows, but things will be happening with Ninja Games. It's something I'm trying to pull off. But this game that I'm going to talk about this week is Resident Evil 5. I know it's going to make Kid feel horrible, but I know.
Where's my bag and chainsaw?
I know now. Sadly, because Major Nelson spoilt it this morning and I couldn't get to my iPod touch controls quick enough out of my pocket, because when they come on and say spoilers and I'm scrambling in my pocket in the street and people are looking at me going, I didn't make it. What he gave how many chapters there were in the game. Now, some people might say that's small. I didn't want to know that, because the story carries you on, and knowing the chapters now, well, I know how far I've got to the end. And I won't say how many there is, but I am close to the end anyway. Played it just before we started recording, actually. I had to physically force myself off. Just what I reiterated earlier in the show, really. It's just really well made. I mean, Resident Evil, I don't know how many you finished, kid, but I think I finished 3.
I am the unofficial king of Resident Evil. There isn't a game called Resident Evil that's come out that I haven't finished. There's
Really?
one that's not mentioned. We don't mention it because it doesn't exist. It wasn't on the Dreamcast. It wasn't on the PS2, and it wasn't hard as nails.
That's the Veronica one? Is that am I
Yes,
right in
it's-
that? Yeah,
it's Veronica.
Yeah. I think actually that was.
And honest folks, I have literally sat and played Gun Survivor. That tells you
Really?
how dedicated to this franchise I am.
Few questions about it. I mean, without question, I'm going to finish it. I can't wait to finish it, actually, because it obviously unlocks the way normal Resident Evil unlocks. I really do want to play co-op, so if there's anybody out there that wants to give me a shout and sees me on at night playing, give me a shout for co-op. I'll like to drop in and have a go. It looks really good. What I will say, I don't like the collectibles. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but the collectibles in this game are used as a buy-in system. You literally find all your little jewels that are sparkling.
Yeah, which is pretty much what they went through with
Yeah.
PS4.
Now, are you one, you know the end of the game where it unlocks stuff, are you one for going back and playing it again? Because I'm renowned for never, ever playing a game twice. I just can't see the fun. It's all gone and done. Now, do you do that usually, or do you do it with this?
Going to make the show even longer by telling this story, but I originally bought a GameCube so I could literally play Res 4. Now, I have literally for Res 2, you know that there's 2 extra characters you can do by doing it in semi-saves. I've done it with both of them.
Really?
I am literally on my 3rd playthrough of Res 4 now, trying to do it in under 5 hours to unlock the Mario special. But I do admit, on this 3rd playthrough, it's a lot more fun because I had enough cash and everything to buy the Infinite Rocket Launcher.
Really?
That makes it fun.
Cool. I tell you something funny story adding on to this, and quite might surprise a few people. And I don't know whether I'm going to do it now, but I might do it listening to you now. I was clearing the main room out the other week for the new TV that was being delivered. I literally clearing old drawers out, and in the bottom of that drawer was Resident Evil 4 from the GameCube, and it's a game I have not finished.
Finish it, man.
And
Finish it.
I tell you what it is. You remember the big giant silly guy when you've got the dogs running about, and he was.
Well, the troll from Lord of
That's
the
it.
Rings cameoing.
That is as far as I got because it
Oh
drove
my
me.
God, you're not even halfway through.
Yeah, drove me to despair. So now I've found it, and we've obviously got the Wii. I might be well tempted to go and have a go. So interesting. But all in all, guys, I mean, everybody knows what Resident Evil is. It's fantastic, and I'm listening to Major Nelson again. They speak about it this week. I want to try the co-op 'cause it looks cool. So you'll have to let me know when you do get it 'cause it'll be good.
I have to say the reports I've heard about the co-op say it's even better than Gears of War 2. And
I know.
Gears of War 2's co-op was pretty
Well,
damn good.
Yeah, they said it today. That funny, good point that is. They was talking about. I tell you, it was Major Nelson and E talking after the interview, where they said his exact words. I think E's was, and I know he plays a lot of co-op. He said that it's the best co-op game he's ever played, and that's coming from a Microsoft, employee who's got to be Gears and oriented. So it's just, I really want to play it. It's the horror of it. He said it's the way it's done, where you can split up, where it's the panic, come and help me quick, I'm dying. Looking forward to it, I am. But that sadly is all I've played this week, because as obviously most of you know, I've been quite busy sorting this like that. So hopefully, kid, we'll find out what you've been playing, mate. What you've been doing?
Well, one of the reasons why I'm available for this is good old Blizzard have been doing server updates today, so I've not been on WoW. Although
Is that it? Is that it then? You won't be here if WoW were up. Is that it?
Oh, I'd be here. You invited me, of course I'd be here. I'm not going to talk about WoW. People are probably quite bored of hearing WoW. Yes, I'm having fun, yada yada. Games I've gone back to. I've now gone back to Rock Band 2. And Toz, I think I can finally say, I can finally keep up with you on Rock Band, because as it used to be, the only game you could ever beat me on was Guitar Hero, because you could do Expert and I was just hopeless at it. With Rock Band, I have found out I can play Expert on the bass.
It's enjoyable though on Rock Band. I think we've spoken, everybody does. The difference between Rock Band and Guitar Hero is just criminal. I don't play my Guitar Hero anymore because of that.
I mean, if anyone heard the Mario Gaming Show, I did go on a bit of a mini rant about Strange Me mini rant when Toss is round. It's a new one. I went on the fact that, at least with Rock Band, it makes you feel like you're playing the songs, which to me makes that whole experience more enjoyable. Whereas the Guitar Hero seem to make you more, it's about the button combinations, it's about hitting them right. You don't feel like you're playing the song, which is a downside. I purchased some new songs for it because I am mad on the DLC for Rock Band. I got stuff like She Sells Sanctuary, Kids Aren't Alright by The Offspring, All I Want by The Offspring, REM's Losing My Religion, Straight Flicks.
Yeah, I got that. I got them.
Thoroughly enjoyed going back. Went back and played Mass Effect not long ago.
Really?
And I was quite happy I did. Because I was playing it at the time it came out. I think we were both playing it at the same time it came out.
I never finished it, never got to the end.
Going back and playing through it now, with all the hype gone away and everything, you sit there and you go, all right, yeah, the vehicle section, ropey, not great.
Yeah.
Texture pop is still a problem, which is a shame, but all right, I can let that go. But sitting and playing the game, you sit there and go, this has got a really good, gripping story. I like it. And I was quite happy a chance I got to go back and play that. Now, the game I want to talk about is the fact, I remember when we were still doing the shows together, we were talking a lot about Pro Evolution Soccer and FIFA.
Yeah. Which one was winning?
I have FIFA 09 and I had PES 08. I can now say I can see why FIFA wins. FIFA now is really good, and this Be a Pro mode, where you are literally just one player in a team, has kept me going like mad.
Oh, right. I mean, I never got on with football games, and as you know, everybody knows we're mad on football. But,
we won't mention teams at all. You know, Derby fan over there, Forest fan here, long-suffering Forest fan.
Yeah, it's been certainly just something I don't get on with. But do you play online?
I haven't tried it online. I played it once online and I got my arse handed to me. I went, you know what? I'll just stick to playing it against the computer. At least I can win and feel great when I take my Nottingham Forest team to the Premiership title again for the third year in a row.
I mean, I've meant to try them and I never do. It's just something I just don't think they work well.
I honestly felt the same as you. I picked up FIFA because it was literally a case of I saw it was going cheap. I picked it up and grabbed it and thought, okay, well, let's give this a go. You know, let's see what's changed. And then, you know, playing the normal modes as you do, the controls are a bit better. The players are a bit, you know, the AI is a bit smarter. It's in the places where pretty much you want them to go and pass to and all this and the other. Then I tried this Be a Pro mode and it was something so different where you literally are. You are either a defender, a midfielder, or a striker. I chose to be the striker.
Yeah, you can pick your individual player, can't you?
Yeah, and you can either create one or pick one from the team that you want to be. And, you know, you have to be in the right position at the right time. You have to be running forward, making passes, staying on side, and all this. And it just added something so different to the game that it just kept me going and going and going instead of getting bored after 5 or 10. You know, after 1 or 2 games, you're a bit like, I'll play something else now. But going and playing that was fantastic.
I'd completely forgot about that Be a Pro mode, completely. And it was the only thing I thought was fantastic in the demo. I mean, I used to play football to quite a high standard. It was semi-pro years back. And that mode, to me, works superbly because, like you say, you are a striker. And I felt like I was a striker, so I knew where to run. And what I was most impressed with is, like you say, the AI has been really well done because you make your runs as a striker hoping that the ball's going to come to a specific spot. That's what football is. And it worked. It worked brilliantly. So I never went back to try it, and I've had both games, and I never did, but that would interest me. So it's good.
It's well worth the look. It adds something very different to football games, which they needed, I think, which they really, really do need. Because with most sports titles, they rarely change at all. If you know, you may get a bit nicer graphics or a change of ground, roster change, that's it. But adding a new mode like that, I think, has been vital to the FIFA license and will probably keep it going.
It was tried years back, and I cannot remember for the life of me what game. I've got a funny feeling it may have been tried on a Dreamcast title. It was the first ones to ever attempt that, and it was the whole game was like a brave step forward. Some years back, obviously with the Dreamcast, it was like a football game on the market, people looked at it, but when they found out that all you could do was this one player, you could be the one player, it just didn't work. But I know it was tried years back, but it is good, I like it.
I think it's the advantage that FIFA lets you be either or. Even in the Be a Pro mode, you can be just a one player. The camera's great. The camera gets a bit taken used to, but because it follows the ball more than being around you, so you still have to learn to be in the right places and stuff. And then you figure out how hard it is to beat the offside track, which is very bloody hard.
Hey, it's hard, really, let alone in a computer game. So,
yeah.
Anything else you've been playing?
I would speak up about good old Tiger Woods '09. That game is great. That's all I have to say. That game is great. I want it back off my friends, so I carry on playing it.
That it is one I always go back to for an hour when you sat with that moment waiting to decide what to play.
It is.
I think actually I've still got Tiger 08 lying about somewhere that I never got to the end of.
I hated that. I'm just because me and Toz used to play 07 a lot, didn't we? That used to drive us crazy online.
I must admit the 09 is the one I played mostly online, and it is good. I like it. I like the way they implemented the online shots where you could compete, get points. So I'm still trying for that achievement actually to get 50. I think it's 50,000 GamerNet score.
Oh God!
So, yeah, you know when you say you've not played 09 at all.
I've played a bit of it, but not. I want it back to get really back into it.
When you play it and when you start your shot, you see the GamerNet thing appear in the distance that you've got to try and beat. I mean, you beat that and you get something like 60 points. And I keep thinking 50,000 is going to take a hell of a long time. So
it may take a while.
It may. A funny thing, actually, a few weeks ago, I meant to bring this up and forgot all about it, where I actually tried. I play it for comfort on the predetermined level, the default level. I don't try pro, and I should do, because sometimes I can get like rounds of 56, 55, 56. It's boring, and so I tried to step up, and I tried to step up straight away from that level to the very top to the pro level, and whoo, that was an eye opener to say the least. You've got to be spot on the swing. I'm guessing you do the authentic back on the stick, forward on the stick. Yeah, if you are a millimetre off centre, you're fetching it out the trees. So
that's why you should always tune your clubs so you get your natural swing.
I did the tuning at the beginning. I think I have actually got it off because I'm heavy on the slice naturally. My natural swing back on the stick is a slice, and I did, and it works well. That does as well. But
God's we're getting old. We're talking about golf.
I know it's good. It is a good game though, no question. And
it's always one that surprised me. It's forever doing well. It's always doing well.
And I'm guessing knowing EA, 2010 ain't too far away either.
Oh, of course. The trouble is, what are they going to call the 10 games? Is it going to be FIFA 10?
There was a news piece, I think, about this a few weeks ago, what they was going to come up with. It's be interesting. Will be interesting, won't it? What can they call it? So, any more?
No, that's it, pretty much.
Okie doke then, guys. That is what we've been playing. And we're going to move on to, normally at this point in the show, is competitions. And I have got a fantastic announcement, really. When I found out I was going to pull this off, I think a lot of you will be surprised. As you all know, we used to have the X1 headsets given away by the guys at Lime 360, limexb360.co.uk. Big thanks to them as always. Well, get this, guys. I'm going to run a competition. I'm going to make it last a few weeks because when you know what it is, it's going to be pretty exciting. It's a prize of the X4. Now, X4 is going to be the prize given away. And believe you me, guys, if you want to go over to limexb360.co.uk and look what one of them is,
I'm just going to have a look at that right now.
Believe me, you want to win one because I think a few of you guys have actually bought an X3. I've got an X3 and they're the best there. But the X4s, I actually joked with the guys at LimeXP that you might find my address on the winner's ticket. So
bugger off! I'm entering. God!
Going to let it run for at least 2 or 3 weeks, as you can appreciate. Go and check what they are. You'll be very, very surprised that.
I think I'm going to trump toss it because these are wireless 5.1 wireless headsets.
I know one person, I think, off our old forums that actually got one, and the X3s are brilliant. They're clear. They're just one of the best. Well, they are the better headset for the Xbox. These are apparently the ultimate, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually use them on other than the Xbox as well.
Yeah, just looking at the setup, you can connect it up to your 5.1 surround sound system at home. I want a pair of these. These are gorgeous.
Yes, yeah, I do. So, as I say, guys, all I'm going to tell you to do is get the entries, just basically to crankytoz@gmail.com. It is a new email address. I'll mention all these just in a minute at the end of the show. But just send your normal entries. Please include your name, gamer tag that you want to be announced on the show, and, of course, your address. And as I say, I'm going to run it for a few weeks, see what I'm guessing that the intake should be pretty exciting.
Oh God, these are
I know.
flipping awesome.
I know they are. When I knew I could be giving one away, I really thought, wow, I wish these were mine. So, but anyway, it's good for the guys over there at limexp360.co.uk. Go and have a look. You'll be pretty impressed at the X4. Right then, guys, we're going to just slowly bring the show to an end. Just a few things I do want to say, obviously. First of all, thanks to Kid mainly for I think this is going to surprise a lot of people. It's been enjoyable again. Look forward to it. I'm hopefully going to probably go on one of his shows, I think, maybe, if that offer was still open.
Yeah, that offer's always open to you.
And I've got a feeling that it probably won't be the last time he comes on this one either. Because the format I'm hoping to plan, and this is one of the few things I want to do, my original format that I wanted to go with, and it could be pretty hard to pull off, but we'll see. The most complaints I used to get on the other show, that people was moaning constantly, why don't you involve people from the community? Right, well, what I'm going to do, I'm opening it up now to all you exciting gamers out there that are always moaning that you want to be on a show or you want to do a podcast. I'm offering you a chance to be on this show, crankygamersuk.net. You can be on it. Send me some audio, send me anything that lets me know what you like, what your interests are, and I'll either get a more permanent co-host out of it, or I will just go with anybody who turns up. But the open invite is there. The new email, as I've just mentioned, is crankytoz@gmail.com. Send all your stuff in, and that goes for, as well, show intake. What do you want the show to be? It's changed. We know it's changed. Do you want to see Achievement of the Week back? Do you want to see Question of the Week back? All entirely up to you. And I must say here, guys, that some weeks previously, I hardly got any emails on the old show, and it was a struggle to put stuff together. Being honest, being open, can be difficult. Kid will back that up.
It's can very hard.
So I'm telling you now, guys, if you don't participate in this, it's going to be so hard for me to bring you a show with content. You cried out for it before, and it literally is. It's open for you. Anybody wants to come on, let me know.
You can tell Toz is being nice because it's his first show and everything. Let me put it this way to you folks. Put your money where your mouth is.
Correct, mate. The times I got emails saying, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? And there was weeks previously that literally I got one, maybe two emails. And it can be so difficult. So, guys, it's there. You want the show, you want things in it. Get your ideas forward. Simple as that. What I will just say, a few things about this show. Obviously, some of you will have seen it on my temporary blog. And the temporary blog still stands for now at crankytoz.blogspot.com, but also now you can use the new address of www.crankygamersuk.net. It will get you to the same place for now, and also this show will go up on the old feed. Feeds and server space will be sorted out very shortly, and as such will be changing. So yes, you can subscribe as it is now, but I will put notes up very shortly. It will all be changing for the good and for more permanent basis. So just so you know where and what's happening for the future. I've just got a one shout out that I've received quite a lot of feedback on, actually. The little video on my blog that showed the up and coming show. I must admit I was really impressed with it. It came from Frack off the old CG UK forums, and I want to thank him very much. He's helped me a lot this week. And that video was very nice. Thank you very much, Frack, for that. Any help that you guys want to offer, as I've said, the crankytoz@gmail.com. And the only other things to close with, really, are the new website I've just given you. I'll do it again because it's new. Don't forget the bit on the end, www.crankygamersuk.net this time. There are links on there, PayPal donations, and they do count now, guys. They really do. I need the help. With all things this. I've also had mails about the Game Points Now site from the other place. That is still working, still running. www.gamepointsnow.com. Use the code CrankyGamersUK to get a discount where you can get all your Microsoft points and gold subscriptions. Very reasonable and immediately as well. So thanks to them guys. And really, Kid, that's all, mate. Thank you very much for helping me out on this show one. Look forward to it. Don't you want to plug? You've got a bit of something happening this evening, I think. I'll let you plug that, mate.
Well, I don't know when you're getting the show out, but we are doing tonight, Wednesday, a live Kid Dog Show stream. You can find that at Ustream, whatever the slashes are for Kid Dog Show. So check out the kiddogshow.com, and I got to plug my own site in because, hey, I'm nothing but a plugger. TheTotalGamer.com as well, where you can find my show with my co-host Spy 101. And if he talks about Far Cry 2 for 20 minutes again, I will kill him.
I have actually got that game, and it was the weirdest game. I've not talked much about it, so I won't bore you either, but maybe another time. But all I can say, kid, is thank you very much, mate, for helping me out. And
it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
And I'm guessing it will excite a few people when it goes out, and I will try and get it out as soon as possible. So all that's left to say then this week is bye from me.
And I suppose I might as well do this for old time's sake one more time. Stay cranky.